Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent, and this is Flat Earth Q&A emails number 52, where you email me your Flat Earth questions to msargent23 at comcast.net. That's msargent23 at comcast.net, and I will answer them in the order they are received. But before I start this, just wanted to explain real quick why I've been having problems with Strange World episodes as of late. Some of you noticed that the Strange World has been crashing, segments missing, and overall just audio nightmares. And that is because I received a wonderful new microphone from Chris Pontius. Now, there's nothing wrong with the microphone he sent me. In fact, I'm using it right now. But what happened was I plugged it in. It's a USB microphone, and plugged it in while I was also using my favorite globe-shaped microphone that was made by Blue. And what I did not know was that my Blue microphone was using a default audio driver instead of a very specific Blue driver. And Windows 10 has a known conflict with Blue microphones. So when I plugged in the Shure microphone, it kind of reminded my computer, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Windows 10 has a problem with this, and that's exactly what happened. My PC just started freaking out, and every time I used my Blue microphone, I could maybe use it 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, and then I decided I was going to combine that with a brand new Windows 10 version of Skype, and then it became completely unusable. I couldn't even get in 60 seconds, which is why the last Strange World episode crashed almost right after the show started. Basically, the more I talk, the higher chance, the higher probability the thing was going to crash. Anyway, long story short, I have now given the Blue microphone away to charity, and I'm going to be using this Shure microphone, S-H-U-R-E, until I get my new headset mic, which is going to be coming in from Sennheiser. I'm going to try that one out because if I can get away with not holding a microphone, the only problem is sound quality. I have not found a headset mic which has been really, really good as far as sound quality. This one has been rated pretty high, and I will let you guys know as we go along. Anyway, so thought I'd just get that out of the way so you guys know what's happening. And let's get right to the emails, shall we? This first one is called Flat Earth. Mark, I'm new to Flat Earth, so just thinking maybe your smoking gun could be the term used, greenhouse gases. And that's from William. Thank you, William. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Normally, mainstream science would say the greenhouse gases effect is because of gravity holding down the atmosphere. So the atmosphere is sort of like a shell, and then we're the greenhouse underneath it. And when in a flat Earth model, no, if it's an enclosed, pressurized mechanical system, then quite literally is a greenhouse with a structure around it. So yeah, it's good. I like it. This next one's called LIGO Sound of Gravity, new 2-minute video. Hiya, Mark. Thought you might appreciate my latest quick video. Feel free to use however you wish, should you wish. Very best to you ever. That's from Flatmax UK. And the video is called, real quick as I launch it, Unseen Take 1+2 LIGO Gravitational Wave Sound. Doctor Who fans must see. Huh. All right. Pretty good. I will listen to that later. Thank you. And again, sorry, guys, it's taking me. I know I'm working off of emails in October, but we'll get there. This one is called FE. Good afternoon, Mark. Just wanted to let you know I saw your interview you released today, and I got to say I've only been researching Flat Earth the past 3 months, but once I ran into your channel and called you one day, you told me to go check out more of your videos, and since then I've never been so unsure that we live on a globe. I just want to say that I hope you're not one of those government plants. Ha ha. Funny. Also, I'm not sure where to find your station, and I have a huge question if you wouldn't mind asking, how come you haven't sent a rocket up yourself? By the way, you could probably take that sentence the wrong way if you wanted to. I'm sure your followers would share it everywhere, man. Yeah, I'd love to go up in a rocket if somebody would pay for it. Rockets are not cheap. It's not like I could just build my own like Mad Mike. But yeah, if somebody wants to send me up in a rocket, by all means, let me know. I will totally go up and probably die. This one's called Hey Mark, followed by Hey Mark, my name is Jeff. I recently wrote a children's book about the characters learn about Flat Earth. I am using YouTube videos as links so the reader could look into what the character learns. There's no profanity, no sex, just good, clean life lessons and flat earth. I really dig your channel and others like yours that are revealing the truth, causing more people to become awake. I would like your permission to add a link to your video in my book. Time is of the essence because I am publishing it on Amazon on November 1st, 2017. Please allow me to use that link to help spread this message. Thank you for everything you have done in this movement. Please keep it up. Sincerely, Jeff Swinarski. P.S. I truly believe I wear the full armor of God. God bless. And I already wrote him back. And yes, of course, you guys want to use anything from my channel? I've never copyright struck anyone for anything. Why would I? Most of my stuff is Creative Commons license. You guys can use whatever you want. And lots of people have. I've gotten a whole bunch of hits. Look up Under the Dome, full documentary. That's my clues. The guy's got 4 million hits off of it. It's the most hits, I think, off of any Flat Earth channel video ever. This one's called Thanks for the Shirt. Mark, that sounds great. Thanks so much for the kind gesture. If you ever have any kind of artwork needs or any graphics related, please let me know, because Kim is a professional artist and works full-time as a children's book illustrated. We will watch your stuff all the time, and we will be watching Wednesday on Patricia's show. What time does the show start? Thanks again, Jerry. And that was just a follow-up email. This one's called... No subject. Mark, I saw a comment in FEOHP. Someone mentioned Red's rhetoric and angular size of the sun not changing from sunrise to sunset, which supposedly disproves flat earth. Does this make any sense? Any truth to it? Your once closet flat earther, Justin. No, it doesn't. There is some optic things happening up in the sky that we still can't explain right now. But there's no doubt in my mind that the sun and the moon are just small little objects that are circling around above us like a mobile above a child's crib. If you guys have any doubt about that, there's plenty of videos on DITRH's channel and Zeteticism.com, or just type in Flat Earth Sun and you'll find some great videos about what's going on up there. This one's called Reward Money. Please try to debunk this. This is in all caps. Well, not the email, just the title. Hey, Mark, I've been listening to your podcast since day one. Same story as you. Tried to debunk Flat Earth and couldn't, so became so intrigued I became a believer, but moved to New Zealand recently and realized that the amount of daylight we received during peak summer, 14 hours and 40 minutes, then looked at the amount of daylight South Africa, opposite of New Zealand on the flat Earth map, receives 14 hours, 25 minutes at the same time of the year. Please try to explain how this is possible, as twilight hours over 16 hours in both countries make flat earth even less possible. We'll be listening to hear your explanation for this. Please don't ignore. Cheers, Mark. Keep me believing. Again, when it comes to the outer markers of the southern hemisphere, I don't know what's going on out there. Could be two light sources, could be a modification of directional light. I don't know what's happening in the southern hemisphere when it comes to light sources. The 24-hour sun, I still don't necessarily buy it. Because remember, two schools of thought. One is that they've been sending us doctored videos of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica and relational or relative light sources in anything that's not quite to Antarctica. Or it could be multiple light sources. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff going on. This one's called Flat Earth. Hey, Mark, my name's Stu from Australia. Just wanted to drop you a line and let you know how blown away I am about the whole Flat Earth theory. I'm currently browsing through your website, watching your vids. Well done. I feel like you're really onto something here. Keep up the great work. All the best, Stu. Yep. I get that. That's probably a great encapsulation of the video, or the emails and the phone calls I get. It's usually those people followed by another email that says, I've got some questions though, which is great, because that's why I tell people, look, ask questions. This one's called Balloons for Cell Surface in Puerto Rico. And there is a link. Hey, Mark, I found this story very interesting. If you ask me, it proves they use this technology to fool us. And it's a Yahoo Finance story called, you guys can look this up, Alphabet Balloon Project to provide limited internet in Puerto Rico. Wow. And there's a huge, it's a balloon that's going to be launched in Puerto Rico, and it's massive. I don't know the payload, but remember, we can lift up to, right now, like 4 tons with balloons, which is pretty good for, for a satellite. I mean, of course we can lift more than that if we had like a full-blown Zeppelin. Look up those. I know that kind of dates me. I wasn't around when Zeppelins were around, though. Just letting you know. This one is called Compass Test. Hello, Mark. I've enjoyed all your clues videos and various talk shows. I'm impressed with your cool and calm presentation. I, too, have some questions, some things I've been told over my 60-plus years. I watched the moon landing on television live as a kid, and I found it fascinating to think about the world in wildly new terms, and have experienced the fallout effect when attempting to broach the flat subject with family and friends. Why is the flat earth concept so crazy when it satisfies so many of the nagging questions? And he goes, you'd have to mount the compasses far enough apart that they would not affect each other. And that, if that's the thing, they say that the compasses go wonky at the South Pole. It's because they all point like the diagram for the flat earth instead of the globe earth expectation. If the geographical South Pole so marked on Google Earth is indeed the southernmost point, why don't they make expeditions straight through the pole and come up on the other side? They seem to go to it and back to the edge and come up on the other. I'm sorry, they started on proving neither globe nor flat. If you could start in Sanae, and go through the South Pole to McMurdo as shown on this map. Oh, I get you. The South African station, which is on the other, supposedly on the other side. You can go through the South Pole on a round Earth. All directions to all the coastal cities would be north. That would prove the round Earth theory. You can go through the South Pole on a flat Earth, but what is beyond that is uncharted ice, and eventually you hit the dome barrier. I think with all the explorations and tours going on down there, that someone would have tried to bear this out. And another thought I had was that Antarctica might be an island off the south tip of South America, that they go all the way around like the map, but beyond that, the south, there's an ice barrier that goes around the edge of the Earth, which they have not mapped yet. Something like the compass test would still apply to that scenario. Anyway, thanks for all you do to open minds and hearts to the truth, whatever this turns out to be. I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel and look forward to your next posting. Webby Merlin from Jackson, Florida. And yeah, but it's an interesting thought, by the way, that Antarctica is also just a continent that is down there, and that there's even, that the true outer rim isn't even Antarctica. Interesting thought. Yeah, hadn't really heard that one yet. It's good. This one's called Thank You. Mark, thank you. I do not know where to start. I know you know exactly what I mean, so I'll save it. I have 34 years to unprogram. It's overwhelming. I live in Rochester, Washington. See, I didn't even know there was a town in Washington, and I'm from here, called Rochester. I heard in the interview that just went up that you have had a few small groups meet in local areas. The lady you interviewed, you even mentioned she would drive to meet you soon. And she did, by the way. I feel like I am so far behind that I'm trying anything to get some real facts. Please let me know if you're meeting with her or any others around the Northwest come to be, or any other resources that can help me through this. It's been a few days now and I'm still buzzing. Thanks again, man. Keep it up. It's working. Josh Doolin. Awesome, Josh. Thank you. This one's called Perspective. Mark, we are ants on a ball the size of the moon and can't see the ball because it's too big. At the same time, God is all and everything, and if God and those with God look at us, they only see a ray of light, which puts us in the realm of flat or linear due to the speed at which that light effectively reacts from the perspective of the viewer. Your right side of, by the way, he has not actually hit a period yet. Viewer, your right side, the earth is flat. If you are traveling in a fast enough vehicle, it will appear to be just like you see a bird fly while driving a motorcycle. You see a dark line, you know it's a bird, still no periods. But because of your speed, it appears to be a line. That's why there is a God, because of the way the earth is depicted in the Bible, and the description is from a perspective that is based on the speed of your traveler who is making the still no periods. Making the observation. You can't see it all at once without knowing what you are really looking at. I'd like to discuss it more sometime. I think you're on the right path, but I think you need to put on your big boy boots and step away from the perspective and use a little bigger eye to view it through, period. Wow. Longest sentence I have read all year. Peace and blessings to you, period. Signed, Corey. Thank you, Corey. And I understand what you mean there. My only recommendation, of course, is to use more punctuation. Okay, moving on. This one's called Chris Pontius email. Hi, Mark. Would you happen to have Chris Pontius' email address? None are posted on his website. The toocrispygmx.com does not work. I would be interested in buying one of his 3D flat earth models, but would have a couple questions for him first. Please advise, Carl S. And yeah, if you guys want to buy any of Chris Pontius' flat earth models, just go to flatearthmodels.com and hit the contact me thing and just fill in the little thing, and he should be able to get back to you pretty soon. I haven't heard from him in a little while, but I'm pretty sure he's making a lot of stuff. I hope, honestly, he sells out to a big production company on that, you know, that can make the models in mass. I know the quality will go down because they won't be all artesian crafted like what he does, but it'd be great to see a whole bunch of those models out there. This one's called, Hey, Mark, Kurt Brisk here. We're just northeast of you, just over the border, north of Spokane in Castlegar, BC, British Columbia. Started listening to your shows a while back, finding it the best and most approachable discussion platform. I will be calling in, just wanted to say great work. Looking forward to having a chat one day. Been flat earth for 9 months or so. Quick convert once I finally looked at it. Anyway, my partner Patricia and I, 65 and 60 respectively, are at the end of our third season, third season, living off grid in a travel trailer while we are building our Earth ship. Nice. It's going to be the world's first openly flat Earth ship. Cheers, Mark. Talk soon, Kurt. P.S. If you're ever this side of the border, you have to stop in. God's country. Absolutely right. I spent a year up in British Columbia, and it was great. This one's called Air Traffic Controller. Please send me Dale's paper. Yeah, that's right. That's from Brent. And yeah, what he's talking about when I was interviewing the air traffic controller. He wrote this very heady, very mathematical, very trippy, you should probably do drugs while you're reading it, paper, and it's called, officially the paper's, I'm looking at it on my desktop, it's called Harmony. If anyone wants it, I can just email it to you. Just shoot me an email and say, I want Dale's paper or want Harmony or whatever it is, and I'll just attach it and fire it off to you. It is not light reading, though. Just to warn you in advance. This one is called Human Nature. Hi, Mark. As well as the join the dots guy, you could be the human nature guy. Like not many people have gone deep into, as you say, if you're not the ultimate authority, you're not the ultimate authority. Do a whole show and just name it why. And if people call in, they have to give their opinion why. The deception. The answers lie in the heart of man. If God came down and performed miracles next week, 7 billion people would be focused on cultivating a life that brings them to God. Good would be the road. Anyone seen not doing goodness would be seen as the enemy of all. A good government could exist under God, but a tyrannical, thieving, power-mad dictatorship needs to hide absolute proof of God. I am sure you could try and find some stories in history of power grabs and read some out on your show, and let's see if it marries up to Flat Earth. You could even do a skit. Have a few characters. You are the creators of the globe. In that boardroom, we're in there now. Brilliant, a globe. They just go round and round and round. In their heads, they'll never know to even look for our little secret wall. Yes, Johnson, do the globe thingy. If they knew what we know, they would all be full of spiritual bravado. They would probably even want their gold back. It's funny. Yes, we can't have that now. Ask your callers to tell their story. People are always fascinating. All the best, Dave, the beekeeper from Australia. Awesome. All right, this one's called Fisheye versus linear video for you. Mark, would it help if I had attached the 2 examples regarding the GoPro video? Here you go. Kind regards, Trevor. And yeah, he just sent versus. We all know this by now, and that is fisheye versus linear. Versus the flat, the normal video. Fisheye is just way too extreme, and it fluctuates on top of it. It's not just fisheye creates a curve. It creates a curve, and then when it moves around a lot, the curve just breaks down and turns into different types of curves. It moves around. It's not a standard curve formula, which is interesting. Let's see. This one's called Video Trashing You. Ooh. Well, Mark, seems not all people are your friends. Been watching a video trashing you, even mocking you. No proof, no evidence. All theories, they say, seems like they never watched your clues video. I see no problem with your evidence, and I am an evidence-driven guy. Your videos plus other Flat Earth videos have actually put me on a path of spiritual awakening. I say this as 30 days ago, I was a devout atheist. Nice. I even bought a King James Bible to have Psalms 19:1 at Von Braun's marker. So you and others have sent on to a journey I have never dreamed of. Wow. There's a testament right there. Turned an atheist and had him go out and buy a Bible just because I mentioned the Von Braun thing. Cool. It's really awesome. Be warned, atheists. This one's called Flat Earth. And normally when somebody calls me Mike, I wouldn't read the email. So it goes, hey, Mike. And it's okay because people, it's a common mistake. And in fact, it's weird because I was actually supposed to be named Mike. They kind of changed it at the last minute, which I think was good because I think Mark is better with my last name. You know, Mark and Sargent, that same sort of sound. Anyway, hey, Mike, watched your vid with interest. I am a long ago conspiracy theorist. Hate that designation, which was invented to discredit us. The way you described yourself was just like me. Found out at 51 years old, the world is run by rich psychos. I've exhausted every topic there is, like you, and now this. Flat Earth? I am waiting to find out what is below, above, and supporting this system. I will continue watching your videos and other people's. There seem to be a lot of adherence to the theory and more every day. That's from Rob Spear, Portland, Maine. It's out in Stephen King's neck of the woods. All right, this one's called Tracking Wildlife. Mark, do any of the wildlife that are tracked across the ocean from South America to Australia? Just curious as to how the governments are able to control the tracking devices placed on animals. They don't have to control the tracking devices. All they have to do is track the GPS. Because remember, the tracking devices are still tied to, everything is tied to the GPS system, which is the United States DoD, Department of Defense, invented in the mid-90s. So remember, the system works for you, or tells you where it wants you to think you are. So they don't have to do anything special to the GPS devices that are on animals. All they have to do is, although it would be interesting, though, to see the tracking. Somebody look that up. The tracking patterns of wildlife, notably flying or birds. See what where they have them going, and then overlay it on a flat map. That would be interesting. This one's called Flat Earth. Mark, I have been intrigued in learning the truth. I have one question. Satellite TV. When pointing the dish to maximize the signal is apparently to point the dish at a satellite that is in geostationary orbit. To pinpoint that location seems that it does affect the pulling in of the signal, as if there really are no satellites orbiting. How is this done? Thanks, Bill Burke. Still trying to figure that one out. When it comes to satellites, there's definitely something up there. I've seen it myself. There's a lot of stuff up there. Most of it I don't think is us. But as far as bouncing a satellite signal, if it's really low on the horizon, you could do it with towers, or you could have a series of balloons, or modified AWAC planes, or some sort of aircraft. I don't know. But do I think there's any satellites that are put there on the top of rockets? No, I do not. Not a chance. This one's called Bible Verse Question. Mark, I'm a new believer in the flat earth for most of the typical reasons. Now I'm thinking of all the new meaning to verses in the Bible. The verse listed below is a parable from Jesus. It makes me think a man may be able to enter another way other than the door through Jesus, perhaps through the dome. I want to point it out to you, and perhaps you have some followers that are well-versed who may be able to explain it to us. Your thoughts? And it's from Job 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. Now I know it sounds like a metaphor, right? When he's saying this, it's like so when you're, instead of entering just by the door into the place where you keep the sheep, you get in some other way. That person is a thief and a robber. But you wonder if he's talking about, that is interesting. So somebody that comes, honestly, that's almost a development term. Somebody that finds a back door. Somebody finds a cheat, an exploit. Oh, that man is a thief and a robber. And yeah, I gotta say that I hate hackers. People that they'll at least hack for malicious purposes. That's really interesting. Anyway, respectfully, Steve Matthews. Thank you, Steve. That's awesome. And I did not know that one. Job 10:1. I may have to start reading more of the Bible. This one's called Weight and Altitude. Mark, I've been researching for months on one question, but I have yet to see it addressed, and maybe I've just missed it. But why is there a magical line in altitude where one becomes weightless? Why don't we steadily get lighter and lighter as we get further from the Earth? I mean, if the moon and satellites are held in place, feeling the effects of Earth gravity, shouldn't a person also continue to feel the effects of gravity in lessening levels as they get further from the Earth's surface? If so, then why can't we take a scale up to a mountain, climb on, and see the pounds melt away? I don't know if you can do it on a mountain, but definitely in an aircraft, if that's what you're going for. Or place a test weight on a precision scale in a high altitude balloon, yeah. And with a camera, watch as the weight gets lighter. Am I just missing something about something obvious? Please point me at it. Thanks, William in Washington. And yeah, the more you think about it, is gravity, remember, with normal magnetic forces, stuff that magnets on metal, you get to a certain point and then it doesn't seem to have any effect on it at all. It's like super, super strong. The magnet has a pull on it and then eventually it escapes. So are they talking about that with normal gravity, which is, again, more like a molecular magnet, where it's just gravity, 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 and then no gravity? Interesting thought. Interesting thought. You're right. Should it get weaker? Kind of like, well, let's look at the reverse side of it. Technically, they say that if you drilled a hole down to the center of the Earth, which you can't do, if you start drilling a hole down to that 4,000 mile point, technically you should get lighter and lighter because there's less mass pulling you, to where when you get to the center, you're absolutely weightless. So yeah, does it work the other way? Why doesn't gravity just get variably lighter until you are weightless? It's interesting. I bet you there's a wiki entry for how mainstream explains this. I wouldn't put much faith in it though. It's good. This one's called Proving Flight Paths. Let's see here. Hi, Mark Sargent. My name is Shane Mather. I've been researching flat Earth for 3 years now, and coming to the point of people asking me about flight paths from America West and East Coast to Sydney, Australia, either nonstop or one connecting flight through European regions and Asian regions. Now I have kind of worked through it, but would like some more directed guidance if you may have time to answer, and add some examples for me to go off of so I can make some proofs to my claim and stop this harassment I've been going through from all walks of life, including family and friends. Many kind regards to you, Mark, and keep up the impressive work. Regards, Shane Mather from Star Audio Cambodia Company. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I put all the examples in the clues. Anything you want when it comes to the southern routes in the southern hemisphere. But I'll email him back, see what I can come up, if there's anything else I can do for him. All right. This one's called Flat Earth. Mark, enjoy the videos on YouTube. Like almost every person on Earth, I have always found myself not quite sure. Things added up. A few weeks ago, it came to me rather suddenly that, in fact, the Earth is flat. I've already decided years ago that the sun, moon, and stars are probably closer than we were told. Just intuition, I guess. I never believed we landed on the moon for many reasons, most of which we have not gone back. I've actually learned in life to think the opposite of mainstream. Truth often lies in the opposite direction. I do have one remark, though, something I plan to do on my own. Why not just settle this issue and repeat the Bedford experiment? In theory, it should be possible to find a flat piece many, many miles long. I grew up in Kansas, and check it out. I hear a salt flat in Bolivia may be, he's talking about the Salar del Uyuni, maybe over a perfect spot. What prevents this from being done? Do you know of any recent experiments in this regard, David? And yeah, the problem is you can't use land. If you try to use land, science will come back to you and say that it's just a really flat spot on the globe. It's like a pool table still sitting on the globe. A pool table is perfectly flat, but that's what they'll just say. It's just a flat piece of land. Although, like for example, and forget about the thing down in Bolivia, Kansas is just one of many states. Well, I shouldn't say many, but like 9 states that are apparently perfectly flat. It doesn't matter how many flat land masses, science will always come back and say, well, it's just an anomaly. It's just a really flat piece of land on still on a globe. And we'll say, well, how many states would it have to take? I mean, 9 seems like quite a few. I mean, it'd be like Nebraska and Kansas and South Dakota and North Dakota. And there's a lot of flat land out there. So you have to use water. Sorry, all I can tell you. This one is called UK News Website Live Q&A. Hi there, Mark Sargent. I was listening to one of your YouTube videos the other day, and I believe one of the callers into your show either had done or suggested to bombard mainstream with flat Earth. So just to let you know and your listeners know, is Tim Peake is doing a Q&A at the end of October. Kind regards, Carter. And yeah, we don't have to worry about that anymore. The bombarding has been in full effect now for a while, especially since the conference that happened in November, and especially since Mad Mike went and, well, at least tried to attempt the rocket launch, and he still hasn't gotten anywhere with it, but it generated a huge amount of press. So we are all over mainstream at the moment. Let's see here. This one. Nope. Sorry. Just trying to get through some of these. Yeah, my email screening is not perfect. Let's see. Flat Earth meetups. That's what this one's called. Mark, I've been doing an internal poll with close family members and friends, asking them 3 simple yes or no questions to compare their views on our Earth. Based on their answers, the shape of our Earth and the distance to the sun and the moon and the stars and so-called space isn't even something that most people even think about. Furthermore, they have no idea what science has told us their distances are. I don't need you to answer these questions that I asked my family and friends because I've seen so much of your work and I already know their beliefs. But anyway, the 3 questions he asked his family. Yes or no question. As an adult, have you ever looked up and taken a scrutinizing look at the sun and moon? Question 2. Without pulling out your measuring tool, based on what we see when we look up at them, do they appear to be the same exact size and shape? Question 3. When you look up and see the sun and moon, and knowing that from one end to the other, the United States is about 3,000 miles long, would take over 2 full days to drive across it doing 60 miles an hour, would you agree the moon doesn't appear to be over 230,000 miles from you, and the sun doesn't appear to be 93 million miles from you? I have put my sunglasses on and shaded some light with my hand and taken a feel-good, scrutinizing looks at the sun. I don't recommend that, by the way. I'd really recommend getting like a welder's helmet or one of those eclipse glasses things. You can get those for cheap. And it looks to be the same exact size and shape of the moon. If any perception is not deceiving me, modern science is. And that's from Robert. Thanks, Robert. It's good. This one's called Flat Earth Agents Exposed. Let's see here. Oh, he was asking me about Metatron, and I explained to them. In fact, I'll read you the email I wrote back. He goes, what are your thoughts on Metatron? I go, not much. The San Diego group approached me in 2016 about doing marksargent.com. That domain had changed hands 14 times in 11 years before that. Pretty sure that Joe Reel will be making an appearance on Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes tomorrow to explain how domains work. With the apps, it's Computers 101. Create a date and modified date. It's on everything we use. Word documents, emails, and yes, apps. Make a template, then use copies to make more apps. Saves time. Unfortunately, most people haven't spent time in the development world. I lived there, but believe what you want. I'm not breaking stride for this, Mark. And he writes back and says, thanks for taking the time to respond. I know this is a huge pain that this is happening. If they didn't contact you to get your side of the story, it's sad. Keep up the good fight. I would do my best to address the issues because they do bring things into question. I know Patricia and Antonio have a bit of history, which doesn't help. The more you are in the public eye, the bigger the target you will have on your back. You guys haven't given me the reason to question. I hope this doesn't affect the conference too bad. And no, it did not. And honestly, I don't care. The drama, I have been trying to stay away from it. And let me just add this. I don't mind if I get accidentally pulled into drama, but I will never be forced into drama. It's never going to happen. I'm one of those guys that digs in his heels. You've never met anyone as stubborn as me. Baby in the bath water, cut off the nose to spite the face. That's me. So I will do whatever it takes to minimize drama to where I can get my goal accomplished, which is what I'm doing now. This one is called No Subject. Hey man, do you have a list of movies you mentioned? Greetings and blessings. C. Yeah, and what he's talking about is the Strange World episodes, my early ones where I went over my top 50 disaster movies of all times. And I compared them with Jonathan from Jersey. We went head to head, and our lists were actually pretty similar to that. So he asked me for the list, and I just grabbed, I think I've got it in a folder on this machine. I just grabbed the list and I shot it to him. But if you want, you can listen to that episode. You just look up, it's like my first 10 Strange World episodes. There's 2 of them in there that cover the disaster movies. This one's called Flat Earth Questions. Hi Mark, I'm Elijah from the UK. I watched your video series Flat Earth Clues and found it very eye-opening. I suppose the thesis opens up a can of worms in terms of questions. How does a Flat Earth scenario mitigate the rising and falling of the sun? And how does it account for the tides of the seas? Yours, Elijah. When it comes to the sun, just type in Flat Earth Sun into YouTube. You'll find some wonderful videos on that by DITRH and zeteticism.com. And when it comes to the rising and, the tides, that's just tied in with the molecular magnetism that's controlling everything else in here. I believe at the very least, even if you don't believe in gravity, you know that there's some sort of force controlling the water. And for me, it's like, look, if you're going to use one force to control the water, you're going to use that same force to keep people on the ground. That's just me. This one is called Flat World Enclosed in a Dome. Hello, Mark. I've recently started looking into the concept of the world being flat and people not being able to leave the dome. I would greatly appreciate it if you could send me some of the information you have uncovered because I am literally being shut down and out as I try to research more. Thank you. That's from Mr. Bo. And I've already sent him a link back to my main channel because a lot of people that write me, they are writing me because they saw one of the mirrors of my Flat Earth Clues. Like, They Are Hiding God with the Greatest Lie Ever, Under the Dome full documentary, and a whole bunch of others. So anyway, let's see. This one's called Just a Bit of Love. Mark, I support you 100%. I have you in my prayers. Stay strong. This too shall pass. XO Ukdina. Thank you, Ukdina. It is much appreciated. And that was sent back in October before the conference because we were catching all that Metatron crap. This one's called Flight Log, Base Camp Arctic. Hi, Mark. I have seen a lot of videos on the flat Earth and completely believe that the Earth is flat and the moon landing was fake. But whenever I talk to someone about it, if they just take it as a joke, which is quite discouraging. Another thing that worries me is the physicist Michio Kaku being so qualified still supports the moon landing fact. I would like to meet and speak to more flat earthers to gain more knowledge and confidence. Thanks, Real Fernandez out of India. And I actually just think there's probably a whole bunch of people in India that are into flat earth, and hopefully he's found them by now. This one's called ODD Investigation. Let's see here. Hey, Mark, if you want someone who knows how this stuff works to explain, I'm happy to help. Always talking about the Metatron thing. I did write to you before. I deal with marketing domains and all that crap for way over 17 years. I'm considering myself an expert in this field, and probably other people do too as well. I'm getting clients to ask me to help them. People don't understand the basics here about domain history, domain ownership, verification of details in whois database, domain drop catching and squatting, domain monetization, etc. I'm a longtime marketer and online affiliate. I've done it all and seen it all. I've seen domains stolen, faked, used for phishing, hacked, and abused in any other way possible. Give me a shout out if you need help with this, but you are right. I saw ODD's video before listening. Oh, that's right. A lot of these emails recently, or these particular batch of emails, is because ODD jumped on the Metatron thing. It seems so long ago, and yet it wasn't. Before later show, and first thing that came to mind was this guy has no clue what he's talking about. Yeah, I like ODD's videos, but his theory is just weak as hell. Even when you skip all the technicalities of it, it logically makes no sense. If you were supposed to be any type of controlled opposition, you are not doing your job very well. Regards, David Joswiak, marketing specialist. Thank you. This one is called Documentary Comments. Hello, Mark. I just watched your video, Under the Dome, full documentary. There you go. First of all, congratulations. A great work with good points and principles. You talked about volcanoes and magma. A question I have, good theory. I cannot say that I am convinced about the flat earth nor about the globe. It is difficult to prove both. However, there are many secrets that can be related to this and other theories. About your call to rise, discussions, and open minds, I can't explain, but I remembered a mysterious fact that happened in Brazil in 2003. Have you ever heard about the Alcantara tragedy involving a Brazilian space program? No, I didn't even know. Let's continue on. Well, Brazil always was dependent on the United States to do space research. Many attempts to launch a rocket failed through the years. It was a joke here. But why, if we also have a big industry and good professionals in all areas? When the space program was at a promising stage, a huge accident stopped all plans. An explosion destroyed everything and killed almost all direct engineers and researchers. At the time, many conspiracy theories about the fear that the United States had the Brazilian rockets could transport weapons rose. But why, if Brazil and the United States have good relations and Brazil has no international conflicts? I'm sorry, English is not his native language here. The investigation was kept in secret, and nowadays the media does not talk about it. I was looking for pages in English to send to you, and an automatic download started. See the attached file. I am not related to spatial nor military industry, just a guy with a good memory. My guess is maybe the Brazilian program was not part of the club. What could be discovered? Below is the wiki link about the Brazilian space program. And you can look it up. And wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea that Brazil, and that's a pretty big country, why that they were even tied to it in any way, shape, or form. That is very, very interesting. So the event he's talking about, Alcantara tragedy. Yeah, look that up if you get a chance. Good stuff. This one's called Bro, Please Acknowledge. Mark, this is so damn interesting and exciting. Did you know they doubled down on the double-slit experiment? Please, bro, show this to your buddies on your show. You know all them smart guys. I'm very impressed by the brains we have on Team Flat Earth. I know I'm not all that smart like you cats. Wow, you cats. But please take time to open this link and take it to the FE lab and dissect it. I can see that some of the assumptions are convoluted and, BS, but you guys got the right science to shed the crap off the thing and just reveal the real deal. Thanks, and God bless, Joseph. And it's called What If the Earth Does Not Exist? It was made in August of this year, 2017, and it's got 1.5 million views, and it's by Riddle. Now, that doesn't surprise me because they've got 1.3 million followers, but it's called What If the Earth Does Not Exist? You know what? I am going to save that one and actually watch it when I get a chance. This one's called No Subject. Hey, Peter Pan. Really? Very good work. Love it. Just can't believe some of the ignorance and rudeness of some of the comments. If nothing else, it's nice to know I'm not alone in the things I have always believed to be true. Be careful out there. People do hate us truth finders. Paul. Thank you, Paul. And thank you for the Peter Pan reference. This one's called I Still Believe. Hi, Mark. My name is Daniel from the UK. I have emailed you 2 or 3 times in the past, but it's been a while. Anyway, with all the mudslinging recently, I thought I would drop you a line and say I'm still 100% behind you. You were the man that turned me to Flat Earth. You opened my eyes. I'm even open to the idea of a creator. I live better, I try to be better, and I try to help people whenever I can. I wasn't a monster before, but you have definitely helped nudge me in the right direction. It may not mean much, but I am still a believer in you and your work. It is very unfair what a lot of people, idiots, are saying. I have heard nearly everything you have put out, and also the shows with Patricia. FEOHP was very emotional, thought-provoking, and brave this week. Please forward this to Patricia, as my comments are also meant as support to her as well. I am sure you will disregard the hate, but please be assured you both have plenty of friends out there in the community. Best wishes, Daniel Payne, UK. Thank you, Daniel. This one is called, Is This Your Email? I get those too. Mark, so I'm a Seattle techie that is considering the flat earth theory is something to look into. I understand you are on Whidbey. Are you ever around downtown? Would love to sync up over a beer and chat about Mark Chrisman. I do meetups in Seattle. In fact, I've done quite a few so far in the Northwest, but individual stuff's gonna be a little tough. I'm pretty busy. This one's called And So It Begins. Mark, I'm feeling that onslaught of sadness you spoke of. Not quite a dark night of the soul, because ultimately I already knew how screwed up and integrated the elite corporation were. I truly believe this is the one thing they could disclose that would break the matrix and wake everyone up almost immediately. I talked to my best friend, and since she knows me so well, and we agree on so much, she was quick to listen, research, grasp, and agree with me. I even reached out to my brother and mom. My mom is super open and can see how it would be true, but doesn't have the time to research it for herself. My brother is open to it, but super skeptical, but in no way cruel to me about it. Then I reached out to another friend who is very savvy on the way of the world works and simply asked him if he researched Flat Earth. The way he treated me was really awful and just made me sad. He was so unwilling to even consider it. He claimed he had done his research and that the whole Flat Earth movement was a government psyop. He wouldn't listen to me at all, and I wasn't even saying much. He just bombarded me with condescending nonsense and told me it was so sad that I believe it and he's lost hope in humanity because of our conversation. I feel this calling to speak out about it, but I don't know if I can handle the hate. If this came from someone who I knew was with loving intentions, I can't even imagine what strangers would do to me. I guess I will be quiet, or at least very selective from now on. I will also take your suggestions and just inquire about the flight paths and how we can't go past Antarctica. Thank you for what you have put out. There are a lot of videos out there that feel really off and are very hard to digest. I can see why people get fed up with the research. It's nearly impossible to find the stuff that even kind of makes sense or is on an energetic level that is palatable. Your videos, your vibe, and even your voice are very calm, sure-footed, honest, and compassionate. So thank you. May we all wake up to the truth. Keep fighting the good fight. Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. That's awesome. Great email. Normally I would have ended on that, but we still got 10 minutes left to do this. This one's called Flat Earth. They're hiding God. Hi there, Mr. Sargent. Don't call me Mr. Sargent, seriously. I'm not a father, and I don't even know where my father is right now. I was so enthralled to find your documentary. I must tell you, I came across the Flat Earth conspiracy idea earlier this year and threw it aside as lunacy. In the last few months, I have felt led to explore this idea, and frankly, I am now completely convinced of it. After watching your video, I did have a certain question in regards to the airplane flights and GPS being turned off and back on. Isn't it reasonable to say that they do take passengers around the long way, and it would be likely that people would see the land out their windows and wonder where they are when they expected a trip almost completely over water? Do you know how long those flights are? Or perhaps I should ask, how long are they actually compared to how long they say they are? Just wondering your thoughts. Thanks for all your amazing work. Sincerely, Deborah. And Deborah, yeah, hopefully she's looked into the flights. A lot of people have done more work on the flight paths than I have. I just gave the introduction to it. So hopefully she's got She's got what she needed. This one's called Flat Earth Question. Hi, Mark Sargent. I had a question concerning the flat Earth idea. If we do live in a flat Earth, how would we view the constellations, day or night? I have a reason for asking this. Patiently waiting for your answer. Thank you kindly, Sam. How would we view the constellations, day or night? You mean as far as northern versus southern hemisphere? If he's talking about northern versus southern, that's multiple display systems. That's just instancing. That's just software. Basically, we can do that now. So hopefully that's the question. Hopefully. This one's called, Hey Mark. Mark, if you fly a plane and keep it level in the air, never turning, shouldn't that prove which is true, flat or the moronic parabol? If you do it at the equator, been listening to you for a while, man, couple of years. Keep it up. The biblical perspective is true, though. That's the only thing that fits completely if you truly look at the whole picture. They aren't Satanists just for the fun of it. All the best, boy, Johan, otherwise known as the Swedish dude. Yeah, if you fly a plane, keep it level in the air, never turning. Well, yeah, but we're talking about a turning arc that is so... You're going to be turning whether... No, you wouldn't necessarily be turning it whether you're on a globe. The turn is so gradual that you're not going to notice it. And remember, most planes fly by autopilot anyway, so the GPS isn't going to tell you. No one's going to be able to notice it when they're in the air. It's too gradual of a turn. But yeah, it's a good one. This one's called Flat Earth Clues and Conference. Mark, I love what you're doing. I have no idea how long you can keep it going or what your end game is or whether you even have an exit strategy, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. When it's all said and done, I want to be the first in line to write your authorized biography. Best of luck in all. Cheers, Chris Hanks. Yeah, I don't know who's going to be writing my biography. I got to die first, don't I? Or wait, do I write it before I die? I don't know. Or is that I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really thought about, oh, wow, this one's big. Okay, let me read this real quick. I think we got time. This one's from... No, that one's, sorry, it's too long. There's not enough paragraph breaks in that one for me to read it. Okay, this one's called November Alignment. Hi, Mark. I think I will do a video presentation about the Jupiter-Venus alignment coming up in November. Here's a sneak peek of the charts I've cast to look at. It may be all double Dutch to you, but if you have some astrological knowledge, you may be able to make heads or tails of it. Even though the alignment is applying from the 8th through the separation of the 12th, for some reason I was inspired to cast my chart for my alone location on November 11th at 11:11 p.m. I've always had the 11:11 going thing in my life. So this time difference it makes in Seattle, which is pretty close to 6 a.m. your time, Jupiter and Venus are rising. Okay. I don't know if I heard from her. This one's called Flat Earth. Mark, I heard the interviews with Lydia. That's fascinating. She was the pilot, by the way. From the Netherlands. I work for a Belgian company and travel there all the time. I used to work for Honeywell, by the way. I installed gyroscopes and accelerometers on Cessna airplanes. I worked for Boeing as well. Did Lydia leave contact info, or can you please have her email me? And I put him in touch with her. Oh, can we get one or two more in? I wish I could read more emails. In fact, I'm going to crank out more emails in the next Strange World show. Assuming the microphone, I mean, if it works and we haven't crashed during this entire thing, we've gone almost an hour. This one's called The Dome. Hi, Mark. Enjoy your shows, particularly this one, They Hide in God. But I wonder, does the dome cover just our area, or does it extend to the outer areas and other continents shown on the discovered map found by somebody? What do you think? Stay flat. Don't Rogan on us. Bill. Yeah, good point. And... No. Well, no, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. The dome will cover everything. I don't think we're allowed to get out of here. So, or anybody's allowed to get out of here. I don't think you can move freely from one dome to another. So, because we're too dangerous, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not trying to necessarily be mean. I'm just calling it what it is. Mankind. is dangerous. This one's called Flat Earth. Hi, Mark. I just started reading about the Flat Earth the past month, and it fascinates me so much. I am, however, struggling to convince my peers who laugh at me like I'm crazy. I'm from Zimbabwe. Can you help? Thanks, Castro. And I sent him a link to the Flat Earth shortlist. If you're looking for a way to convince people that are tied to you, and you know you can't seem to do it on your own, look up on YouTube Flat Earth shortlist for new people and just shoot them that list. And look, there's stuff there from 5 minutes to 2 hours long, and it'll cover just about any intellectual level. I recommend it to everybody. Okay, this one's called Facebook. Let's see if we can end on a fun one. Okay, too many beers in, but seriously, all caps. Since I came out as a flat earther like an idiot, I should have researched more to know never to say that. You getting laid, man? I used to. Not anymore. Please start a flat earther dating app. Not like you never thought of it before. Not like everyone will rip you apart for starting it. Do it under a flat alias, but do it. The earth may be flat, but I ain't. Haha. Just sending you some loving laughter, brother. Keep it flat. Drunk. Robs. R-A-V-S. Awesome. That's great. And we're going to end on that one. Thank you guys for everyone who wrote in and everybody who's been leaving messages and texts. I will get to these as fast as I can in the order they are received, usually. I will skim them, though. And you can send them all the stuff to msargent23 at comcast.net. That's msargent23 at comcast.net. And until next time, guys, stay flat.